Seniors, if you've noticed that your mind doesn't feel as sharp as it used to, if you walk into a room and forget why you're there, or you feel mentally drained even after a full night's sleep, this message is especially for you. As we get older, the brain doesn't lose power overnight. What really happens is that the brain slowly loses fuel. The brain is an energy-hungry organ. It uses more energy than any other organ in the body. And if it doesn't get the right nutrients, focus fades, memory slows down, and mental clarity disappears. Now here's the good news. You don't need expensive supplements, you don't need medications, and you definitely don't need extreme diets. Sometimes the most powerful brain-supporting foods are the simplest ones that people overlook every day. Today I want to share with you the top 3 beans that can dramatically boost brain energy, sharpen focus, and support memory, especially when eaten regularly, even in the evening. These beans work overnight by stabilizing blood sugar, feeding brain cells, improving circulation, and calming inflammation in the nervous system. Let's start with the first one. The first bean is lentils. As we age, one of the biggest misunderstandings about the brain is the belief that memory loss and mental fatigue are just a normal part of getting older. That is not entirely true. In many cases, what's really happening is that the brain is simply not getting the right kind of fuel. The brain is an energy-intensive organ. Even though it makes up only a small percentage of your body weight, it uses a tremendous amount of energy every single day. And when that energy supply becomes unstable, the brain is the first place you feel it. Many seniors wake up in the morning already feeling mentally tired. They haven't even started their day yet, but their thinking feels slow, their focus is off, and their motivation is low. This often has very little to do with sleep and much more to do with what happened to their blood sugar levels overnight. The brain runs almost exclusively on glucose, but it needs that glucose delivered slowly and steadily. Sudden spikes followed by sharp drops are extremely stressful to brain cells. This is where beans become so powerful. Beans are not fast-burning carbohydrates. They are slow, steady, and controlled. When you eat beans, especially in the evening, they break down gradually in the digestive system. This provides a smooth release of glucose into the bloodstream, which feeds the brain consistently for hours. Instead of the brain being forced to conserve energy or struggle during the night, it stays nourished and supported. When blood sugar remains stable overnight, the brain is able to do something very important, repair itself. During deep sleep, the brain clears waste products, strengthens neural connections, and restores neurotransmitter balance. But if blood sugar drops too low during the night, the brain is forced into a stress response. Stress hormones like cortisol rise, sleep becomes lighter, and the brain never fully resets. This is one of the most overlooked causes of morning brain fog in seniors. Beans help prevent this problem naturally. Their combination of complex carbohydrates, fiber, and plant protein slows digestion and keeps glucose levels balanced. This means fewer nighttime awakenings, deeper sleep cycles, and better brain recovery. Many seniors are surprised when they notice that simply adding beans to their evening meal helps them wake up clearer and more mentally refreshed. Another important factor is insulin sensitivity. As we age, many people become less sensitive to insulin. This means the body struggles to move glucose from the blood into cells, including brain cells. When the brain cannot efficiently absorb glucose, focus and mental energy decline. Beans help improve insulin sensitivity over time. The fiber in beans feeds beneficial gut bacteria which produce compounds that help regulate blood sugar and improve metabolic health. A healthier metabolic system supports a healthier brain. There is also a strong emotional and cognitive benefit to stable energy. When blood sugar swings up and down, mood becomes unpredictable, irritability, anxiety, and mental restlessness increase. Seniors may feel overwhelmed more easily or have trouble concentrating on simple tasks. By stabilizing energy levels, beans help calm the nervous system. This creates a mental environment where focus, patience, and clarity can return. Many people think they need caffeine or sugar to feel mentally alert. In reality, those substances create short bursts of stimulation followed by crashes. Beans work in the opposite way. They don't stimulate the brain aggressively. They support it quietly and consistently. This is exactly what an aging brain needs. Another benefit of beans is that they help prevent nighttime hypoglycemia, which is a drop in blood sugar that can happen during sleep. Even mild drops can trigger stress responses in the brain without waking you fully. This leads to poor quality sleep and grogginess in the morning. A modest serving of beans in the evening can prevent this by acting as a slow-burning energy reserve. It's important to understand that you don't need large amounts. More is not better. A half cup is enough to provide hours of steady energy. Beans are not meant to make you feel heavy or overfull. They are meant to nourish and stabilize. For seniors who worry about digestion, preparation matters. Well-cooked beans, properly soaked, and eaten in reasonable portions are generally very well tolerated. Rinsing canned beans removes excess sodium and compounds that cause bloating. Starting slowly allows the digestive system to adapt. When the brain receives consistent energy overnight, something remarkable happens. Focus improves. Memory becomes sharper. Mental endurance increases. Tasks that once felt exhausting feel manageable again. And this doesn't happen through force or stimulation. It happens through nourishment. The aging brain doesn't need to be pushed. It needs to be supported. Beans provide that support in one of the most natural ways possible. By stabilizing blood sugar, improving sleep quality, and delivering steady fuel, beans create the foundation for clearer thinking and better focus, not just for a few hours, but day after day. This is why something as simple as adding beans to your routine can create such noticeable changes. Sometimes the most powerful brain strategies are not found in a bottle, but on your plate. When it comes to brain health in seniors, memory and mental energy are often the first areas where changes are noticed. Names don't come as quickly, concentration doesn't last as long, and simple mental tasks can feel more exhausting than they used to. Many people assume this is just the brain slowing down with age, but very often it's the result of missing nutritional support at the cellular level. One of the most powerful and overlooked foods that directly addresses this issue is lentils. Lentils are small, simple, and inexpensive, yet they provide a remarkable amount of support for the aging brain. One of their greatest strengths lies in their folate content. Folate is a B vitamin that plays a central role in brain chemistry. It is essential for the production of neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that allow brain cells to communicate with one another. Without enough folate, these signals become weaker and slower, which can show up as poor memory, low motivation, and mental fatigue. As we get older, the body's ability to absorb and utilize B vitamins often declines. Even seniors who eat fairly well may be running low without realizing it. Lentils provide folate in a natural, easily usable form. This helps support the production of dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine, chemicals that influence focus, alertness, mood, and mental drive. When these neurotransmitters are balanced, the brain feels more awake and capable. Another key nutrient in lentils is iron. Iron is absolutely critical for brain function because it helps carry oxygen through the bloodstream. Every brain cell depends on oxygen to produce energy. When oxygen delivery is compromised even slightly, brain cells begin to slow down. This doesn't always show up as extreme fatigue. Instead, it often appears as brain fog, forgetfulness, and difficulty concentrating. Many seniors have borderline low iron levels. They are not low enough to be diagnosed with anemia, but low enough to affect brain performance. Lentils provide a steady plant-based source of iron that supports oxygen delivery without overstimulating the system. When oxygen flow improves, brain cells can produce energy more efficiently, which leads to better mental endurance and clearer thinking. Lentils also support the brain by stabilizing energy production. The brain requires a constant supply of fuel, and lentils provide slow digesting carbohydrates that prevent energy crashes. When the brain doesn't have to constantly adjust to fluctuating fuel levels, it can focus its energy on memory formation, learning, and problem solving. This creates a noticeable difference in how mentally sharp you feel throughout the day. Another important benefit of lentils is their ability to reduce inflammation. Chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the biggest contributors to cognitive decline. Over time, inflammation damages brain cells and interferes with communication between neurons. Lentils contain polyphenols and other plant compounds that help calm inflammation in both the body and the brain. A calmer brain environment allows neurons to function more efficiently and reliably. There is also a strong connection between lentils and emotional stability. When the brain lacks proper nutrients, mood often becomes unstable. Seniors may feel more anxious, irritable, or mentally overwhelmed. Lentils help regulate blood sugar and neurotransmitter production, which has a calming effect on the nervous system. This emotional balance directly supports memory and focus because a stressed brain cannot think clearly. One of the most powerful aspects of lentils is how gently they work. They don't stimulate the brain aggressively like caffeine or sugar. Instead, they support it at a foundational level. This is especially important for seniors whose nervous systems are often more sensitive. Gentle support leads to sustainable improvements, not short-lived bursts of energy. Eating lentils in the evening can be particularly beneficial during sleep. The brain performs maintenance and repair. It strengthens memories, clears waste products, and restores balance. Lentils provide the nutrients needed for these processes to happen efficiently. When the brain is well nourished overnight, many seniors notice they wake up with better recall and clearer thinking. Preparation also matters. Lentils are easy to digest when cooked properly, and they don't require soaking like many other legumes. A simple lentil soup, stew, or side dish is enough to deliver their benefits. Portion control is important. A modest serving supports the brain without overwhelming digestion. Over time, regular lentil consumption creates cumulative benefits. Memory feels more reliable. Mental fatigue decreases. Focus lasts longer. These changes may feel subtle at first, but they build steadily. This is how real brain health is restored, not through quick fixes, but through consistent nourishment. The brain does not lose its ability to improve with age. It simply requires the right conditions. Lentils help create those conditions by supplying essential nutrients, improving oxygen delivery, calming inflammation, and supporting neurotransmitter balance. When you give your brain what it truly needs, it responds quietly, steadily, and powerfully. As we grow older, one of the most common complaints I hear from seniors is not just memory loss, but a feeling that the mind never truly settles. Thoughts race at night, sleep feels light, and during the day, focus comes and goes. This is not simply aging. In many cases, it is the nervous system being overstimulated and undernourished at the same time. One of the simplest foods that helps correct this imbalance is the chickpea. Chickpeas work on the brain in a very unique way. They don't push the brain, they calm it, stabilize it, and then allow it to function more efficiently. This is extremely important for seniors because an overstimulated nervous system cannot focus, cannot store memories properly, and cannot repair itself during sleep. One of the key nutrients in chickpeas is magnesium. Magnesium is often called the relaxation mineral, but its role in the brain goes much deeper. Magnesium helps regulate electrical activity in the nervous system. Every thought, every memory, every signal between brain cells depends on controlled electrical impulses. When magnesium is low, these signals become chaotic. The brain becomes overactive, restless, and unfocused. Many seniors are unknowingly deficient in magnesium. This deficiency can show up as poor sleep, anxiety, muscle tension, racing thoughts, and difficulty concentrating. Chickpeas provide magnesium in a natural form that the body recognizes and uses efficiently. When magnesium levels improve, the brain begins to relax without becoming sluggish. This creates a mental state where focus becomes easier and thinking becomes clearer. Another powerful compound found in chickpeas is choline. Choline is essential for the production of acetylcholine, one of the most important neurotransmitters in the brain. Acetylcholine plays a major role in memory formation, learning, and attention. Low levels of acetylcholine are strongly associated with age-related cognitive decline. When seniors struggle to remember names, follow conversations, or stay mentally engaged, acetylcholine is often part of the issue. Chickpeas help supply the raw materials needed to produce this neurotransmitter. Over time, this supports better communication between brain cells, thoughts feel more organized, memory recall improves, focus becomes more stable instead of scattered. Chickpeas also help regulate blood sugar, which has a direct impact on the nervous system. When blood sugar spikes and crashes, the brain perceives this as stress. Stress hormones rise, and the nervous system shifts into a fight or flight state. This makes calm focus nearly impossible. Chickpeas contain fiber and plant protein that slow digestion and prevent these fluctuations. A stable blood sugar level allows the brain to remain calm and alert at the same time. Sleep quality is another area where chickpeas quietly support brain health. The brain does its most important repair work during deep sleep. This includes consolidating memories, clearing metabolic waste, and restoring neurotransmitter balance. Magnesium and stable blood sugar both contribute to deeper, more restorative sleep. Seniors who include chickpeas in their diet often report falling asleep more easily and waking up feeling more mentally refreshed. There is also an important emotional component to brain focus. Anxiety, irritability, and mental overwhelm drain cognitive energy. Chickpeas support the production of calming neurotransmitters and reduce nervous system tension. When emotional noise quiets down, the brain can direct its energy toward thinking, remembering, and problem solving instead of managing stress. Chickpeas work especially well because they support the brain-gut connection. The gut and brain are in constant communication through nerves, hormones, and chemical messengers. A stressed digestive system sends distress signals to the brain. Chickpeas feed beneficial gut bacteria, which produce compounds that support calm brain function. A healthier gut environment leads to a calmer, more focused mind. What's important to understand is that chickpeas do not act like a stimulant. They don't give you a quick mental boost followed by a crash. Instead, they create balance. And balance is what an aging brain needs most. When the nervous system is calm but alert, focus becomes natural rather than forced. Timing also matters. Eating chickpeas later in the day can be particularly beneficial. They help prevent nighttime blood sugar drops, support magnesium levels, and encourage deeper sleep. This allows the brain to reset properly. Many seniors notice that their concentration the next day improves simply because their brain was able to rest more effectively overnight. Preparation is simple. Chickpeas can be eaten whole, added to salads, soups, or stews, or blended into hummus. Portion size does not need to be large. A half cup is enough to deliver meaningful benefits. If digestion is a concern, start with smaller amounts and chew thoroughly. Rinsing canned chickpeas well removes excess sodium and improves tolerance. Over time, the effects of chickpeas build gently but steadily. The mind feels calmer, focus lasts longer, mental fatigue decreases, sleep improves. These changes don't happen all at once, but they are consistent and sustainable. The aging brain does not need to be overstimulated. It needs to be supported, calmed, and nourished. Chickpeas provide that support by calming the nervous system, feeding essential neurotransmitters, stabilizing energy, and improving sleep. When the brain feels safe and balanced, focus and clarity naturally return. As the brain ages, one of the greatest threats to mental clarity is not memory loss itself, but the slow, silent damage caused by inflammation and poor circulation. These changes happen gradually, which is why many seniors don't notice them until focus, recall, and mental sharpness have already declined. This is where black beans become especially powerful. They don't just fuel the brain, they protect it. Black beans are rich in antioxidants, particularly a group called anthocyanins. These are the same protective compounds found in dark berries, and they play a critical role in shielding brain cells from oxidative stress. Every day the brain is exposed to free radicals produced by normal metabolism, environmental toxins, and inflammation. Over time, these free radicals damage brain cells and interfere with communication between neurons. Antioxidants help neutralize this damage before it becomes permanent. As we age, the brain's natural antioxidant defenses weaken. This makes seniors more vulnerable to cognitive decline. Black beans help restore this protective balance. By reducing oxidative stress, they help preserve brain tissue and maintain mental processing speed. This is one of the reasons diets rich in dark-colored plant foods are consistently linked to better cognitive health in older adults. Another major benefit of black beans is their effect on circulation. The brain depends on a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients delivered through healthy blood flow. When circulation is compromised, brain cells are starved of what they need to function optimally. This often shows up as difficulty concentrating, mental fatigue, and slower thinking. Black beans support vascular health by improving the flexibility of blood vessels and reducing inflammation in the circulatory system. Better blood flow means more oxygen reaches the brain. When oxygen delivery improves, brain cells produce energy more efficiently and mental alertness increases naturally. There is also a strong connection between circulation and memory. Memory formation requires efficient communication between different regions of the brain. Poor blood flow disrupts this communication. By supporting healthier circulation, black beans help maintain the connections that allow memories to form, store, and be retrieved more easily. One of the most fascinating benefits of black beans is their role in supporting the gut-brain axis. Black beans are high in resistant starch, a type of carbohydrate that is not digested in the small intestine. Instead, it travels to the colon where it feeds beneficial gut bacteria. These bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation and support brain health. The gut and brain are in constant communication. When the gut environment is healthy, it sends calming, supportive signals to the brain. When the gut is inflamed, the brain receives stress signals. By nourishing beneficial gut bacteria, black beans help create a calmer internal environment that supports focus, mood, and cognitive resilience. Inflammation is one of the most underestimated contributors to cognitive decline. Chronic inflammation interferes with neurotransmitter function, damages brain cells, and accelerates aging of the nervous system. Black beans contain multiple compounds that help reduce inflammation throughout the body, including in the brain. This creates a more stable environment for thinking and memory. Another important aspect of black beans is their role in stabilizing blood sugar. Blood sugar swings contribute to brain inflammation and stress. The fiber and protein in black beans slow digestion and prevent sharp rises and falls in glucose levels. This protects the brain from metabolic stress and supports steady mental energy. Eating black beans in the evening can be especially helpful. During sleep, the brain performs detoxification processes, clearing waste products that accumulate during the day. Stable blood sugar and reduced inflammation allow these processes to work more effectively. Many seniors notice improved mental clarity the following day when their brain has been properly supported overnight. Black beans also contribute to emotional stability. Inflammation and poor gut health are linked to anxiety and low mood, both of which interfere with focus. By reducing inflammation and supporting the gut-brain connection, black beans help stabilize mood. A calmer emotional state makes it easier to concentrate and think clearly. Preparation is simple and accessible. Black beans can be added to soups, salads, or served as a side dish. Portion size does not need to be large. A half cup is enough to deliver protective benefits without overwhelming digestion. For those sensitive to beans, proper soaking and thorough cooking improve tolerance. The effects of black beans are not immediate like a stimulant. They are protective and cumulative. Over time, they help preserve brain tissue, improve circulation, reduce inflammation, and strengthen the gut-brain connection. These changes add up to better focus, clearer thinking, and greater cognitive resilience. The aging brain does not simply decline on its own. It responds to its environment. When you reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and protect brain cells, clarity can be maintained well into later years. Black beans offer this protection quietly and naturally, making them one of the most valuable foods for long-term brain health and focus.